everyone, welcome in. Thank you for joining me. My name is Marlene and I am with A Room to Bloom, and this is your podcast oracle reading. So this morning I woke up with this. Well, I guess I didn't wake up. I was actually sitting in meditation. Anyway, this vision and this all the feelings, emotions, etc. that go along with that. And it's really interesting how things unfolded. Now, generally, when I'm doing a reading like this, I am generally pulling the cards. But what happened is I just felt called to pull some cards. I was looking at books on the shelves and noticed that I had tucked this angel oracle deck away with these books. So right now, as I say that, I feel like something is being revealed. Okay, but the message that was coming through, I'm going to turn the reverb down here a little. The message or the vision that I was given is, you know how when one is, whether you walk into a lake, a river, river, you're not going to see it as much depending upon how fast the water is flowing, but a lake or the ocean or whatever, but wherever you walk, you you stir up the sand, right? And so the water becomes murky, and this water, this murky water, or the combination of us walking on on the earth, even though there's this water above it. It's like our human experience. In our 3D human experience, we can feel like you can say muddy up the waters. It was just 222, so that's kind of interesting, like a situation to be healed. Or where you've been walking, it might feel kind of murky because now you're you're rising above, or you've risen above, and you look down at the top of the water, and then you look through the water, which the water represents our emotions, and you look through it and you see that your feet have been stirring things up. So where have you been walking that has been kind of, the words kicking up dust, if you will, same kind of thing, which is actually interesting that those words just came up. But so it's like we can go along our human experience, and we can be creating things, right, in our experience, and not unless we look down, we don't even realize it. Meaning, unless we look at ourselves and our situation, we might be busy looking out there, right? But unless we become more self-aware, we might not even notice that we're kicking up this stuff, right? And so, that's like one perception. Now I want to take another perception, and let's take the idea of scuba diving. So scuba divers generally get into a boat and they go out further in the water. So they're not going to be standing in the water kicking up the dust, if you will. They're coming in from the top, which would be the observer role, right? So they come in from the top. Interesting, they have their masks on. Possibly. They may or may not. If they have a snorkel, they may or may not. But most people probably would. Anyway, they're looking down at what has already been created, right? They're observing the fish, they're observing the way that the water rolls around, that the weeds roll around, that the coral is, right? They're observing this, seeing possibly, fish or schools of fish, and how do they work together. And so it becomes a little bit different because it's like an awareness of I'm not going to go in and murky up the waters. I'm going to watch, I'm going to observe. Um, and so it's like a part of awareness. And so, anyway, in this deck that I pulled out, it's a beautiful deck. It's called the Book of Angels, A to Z of 100 Angels. And it has three decks of cards, and one is would be a right wing, and the color of it is gold. One is the moon and the sun crossing over one another, and the third is a white wing. Okay, and so the first one that I pulled under the gold wing angel number is Shekinah, and it says choose the right life partner. So this is what I did after this vision came to me about, when one is aware what's happening with murky waters. Okay, I'm going to go to the other ones that I've pulled in a row with these cards. And then the next card under the moon and sun crossing, it says the key is the first 14 days of a moon cycle can make things happen. And then the next one is Anaphil, and it says find your key to heavenly peace. Okay. And so this is what I thought was really interesting. So I grabbed another little, one more thing. I have this book. It's a hand-shaped book, and it's called Everyday Offerings by Leah Redmond. And I opened it to a page that has okra on it, and it says nourish. And the word is in the color of green, and okra is green, and so that speaks of the heart chakra. So nourishing your heart. So it's interesting who nourishes your heart, right? Who nourishes your spirit, your soul? Who nourishes you? But then I went on and I just kind of looked over, and I had this little deck here called Sea Melodies, and so I thought, okay, I'm going to use that. And the card that I pulled that would go under this choosing the right partner is, I'm just going to tell you the three cards that I pulled. The first one is turbulence, but it wasn't the order in which I pulled them. The first one was breathe. Break from beneath the water's surface and soar up beyond the turquoise sea. Interesting, right? So choose the right life partner. That was the order in which it was. The next one under the key is the first 14 days of a moon cycle can make things happen. The word perseverance came up, and it says stay the course, right? Stay the course. And then under the anaphil, find your key to heavenly peace, we had the word turbulence, and it says the mind is murky in rough waters. And I found that so interesting that I pulled that card after I was given the vision and kind of understanding, etc., of what the message was coming through. So then I just split the deck, asked for one more message, and there was another. Interesting. I thought I had one more message, or maybe it was at the bottom of this deck. I'm going to look. I don't know, but there was something about aquamarine. I don't know where it went. Aquamarine stones are said to be made from teardrops of the mermaids. Okay, and so working with that, I apologize. I don't know where I set that card, or if I put it back in the deck accidentally, but that did come up. But anyway, on this angel deck, the next one that came up when I split the deck was Och, O-C-H, and it says study crystal energy and wisdom. Okay, and so when I go to Och in the book, it says guardian angel of crystal alchemy. From deep within Mother Earth, I come with my crystal power, created when the world was young. For millions of years has my energy grown and developed. In the name of light, I offer you now this power of alchemy. I guide you in the use of minerals of Mother Earth to bring about change and self development within and around you. A whole world of knowledge resides within these minerals, and with this message, you may harness the alchemy of my crystal energy to transform your life. Start with the crystals that correspond with the energy centers of your body, for they can assist you to correct imbalances and to attain better health. Now, those are the colors of the 7 main chakras. Each of these is identified with a rainbow color that holds a certain vibration. The energy can be increased with a corresponding crystal, which you can hold while doing a meditation or making an affirmation. And so the examples here are ruby, garnet, or red agate for root or base chakra. Orange, carnelian, topaz, or amber for the sacral chakra. Those are kind of stones that are orange. It was just 1111, 2, which also speaks about relationship or twin flame relationships, and joy. So that was interesting that popped up while I was reading that. Citrine is the color yellow, represents our solar plexus chakra. So citrine, clear quartz, or sunstone for the solar chakra. Emerald, tourmaline, or rose quartz for the 2 heart chakras. Sapphire, blue topaz, or lapis lazuli for the throat chakra. Amethyst, sugilite, or sodalite for the 3rd eye, and diamond or clear quartz for the crown. To bring more of the wisdom into your daily life, you can research the more advanced chakra healing involving power stones such as selenite, silcite, and angelite, calcite, hematite, kyanite, and alexandrite, and kunzite. This in turn is but a step on the way to such knowledge, intuitive powers, and wisdom of which you have not dreamed. So I found that just so interesting how that unfolded, being given that vision. I'm really tempted to see what the word was about that mermaid stone. It had to do with aquamarine color, getting an aquamarine stone. And I'm just looking for it because I do want to read it if I have it here. I just have to think, geez, where did I put it? I'm not sure. But, there was one more thing that happened even before I went even before I pulled the cards. I had this book. It's called Faith for a Lifetime. And, that was the other part of the message that I received in the murky water. Stand still and things will stop being murky, right? That's exactly what the message was. Like, it was stop moving around so you can see clearly. So be still. So that was the message. Then I opened this book, and then it says, be still and know God. Lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation. On you I wait all the day. It says, truth be known, I don't wait well. I get antsy, hurry in my theme song. I strum my fingers on tabletops, and I don't like waiting rooms. In fact, it is discipline for me to sit through dinner. I squirm a lot. When I fly, I take a carry-on the size of a steamer trunk, filled with items to entertain myself. So with this confession, you can imagine what a learning experience it has been for me to wait all day on the Lord. It's 10:04 right now, which is like, it's October 1st and it's 10:04, which says, like, do you hear me loud and clear? I want you to know the Lord's way. I want to know the Lord's way. I want him to teach me his paths and lead me in his truth. But I want it to happen now. The verse, "Be still and know that I am God," Psalm 46:10, was definitely written for folks wired like me. That's one thing about God's word. It will expose weakness, flaws, inconsistencies, and motives for the purpose of resolve. I guess that is why the psalmist explains, "The entrance of your words gives light." And that's Psalm 119 to 130. Now, okay. The next one on the other page is about having hope, right? So I will always have hope. I won't read the whole message, but I did want to share that. And then I had one more message about, I just want to see something. The reading says, "Whose opinion is right? So shall my word be that goes forth out of my mouth. It shall not return to me void, without producing any effect that is useless, but it shall accomplish that which I please and purpose, and it shall prosper in the thing for which I sent it." Isaiah 55:11. So what this, without reading the whole thing, and this comes from The Power of Being Thankful by Joyce Meyer. It's about, we may have opinions, but we don't necessarily have to give them to others. And so it's about just being wise in the words that we speak. And are we speaking words of life over ourselves and others? Or what are we speaking about, right? And so just awareness. And I thought that I would bring that up. So I want to check the time. I think you know what I'm going to do. I just want to keep this message short for today. Again, being encouraged to choose the right life partner. Find your key to heavenly peace, right? Actually, I'm going to go to that one. I help you to find your own heavenly key. So what the key is for another isn't necessarily the key for you, right? "For my pure silver light shines on the path that shows you the way. The essence of all knowledge and truth, the very seed of life, is held in your own heart and is found by the power of love," right? So I had another card come up from a deck yesterday, which spoke about, when something doesn't feel right, there's generally a sign that something is not right, right? So firstly, I would counsel you that you should not spend all of your time wondering about heaven, its mystery, and how to get there. It is important to live your life in the present rather than only in the future. Instead, you should focus on how to find a way to bring heaven to earth. When, with my loving support, you have perceived the way, you can instruct others and enable my message to be more widely disseminated. This is what I wish to disclose. At present, it is if you stand before a very high wall. You cannot see what is beyond. Within the wall is the old and weathered door that leads to the garden of joy and contentment. The door is partially concealed with trailing plants, so that at first you do not even know that the door is there. But gradually, as you clear the way that is concealing growth, you perceive this mysterious door. To open the door, you must find your own personal key with diligence and trust, which the word perseverance is coming to me here again, right? You will identify the key, and wonder of wonders, there will come the moment when you place your key in that ancient lock and you turn it. The door swings open. And the most amazing thing of all is that as you look through the door, everything is revealed as really so very simple. You realize that all the time the knowledge you sought was actually to be found in the love within your own heart. This is the spiritual knowledge, the wisdom that allows you to feel at peace and in unity with all around you, all of creation. The mystery is that there is no mystery. The key to all that is heavenly is love. So it happens to be, my computer is showing Wednesday, October 1st. So 10/1, 10 a.m. So tens are about something come to a completion, but the first is about a new beginning, right? But right now, so it's kind of, beginnings and endings, right? So maybe there's been an ending, but now you're at this place of a new beginning, right? With this choosing the right life partner. So that is the message for today. I want to say thank you for joining me. I hope you have an amazing day. Take care.